moist. Oh, man. Pete. Graham. She has to pee.
There we go. Now we got people coming in. You better get up on here. You're my co-host.
Okay, here I go. No, pressure.
Too much pressure. Good evening.
I gotta turn your volume off.
Good evening, ladies and gents. All two of you so far.
Hold, please.
We're standing by.
Stand by, stay by.
We're having technical difficulties.
People are going to turn into pumpkins.
It's not since they're in California.
No, that's true. They're all pumpkins there already.
That's not true at all. Go for it. No.
Come here, man. Come here. Let's go outside.
Man.
Come on.
There's no free shows. We're not advertising. Because we're not selling anything. Literally, this is just hip pocket. We're just trying to come up with something to talk about tonight. So until my co-host gets here,
I'm here.
we can, I guess, open it up or hang out. We're getting viewers, girl.
I'm on.
All right. What are we talking about tonight? Where are we starting?
Oh, where are we starting?
Yeah, what are we starting tonight? What's our lessons learned?
Scandalous bitches.
No. That's Pete, everybody.
Scandalous bitches. I could go on literally for 3 hours. With all my previous ones. See, I got my buddy saying you're slacking right now.
I'm slacking?
You're slacking.
Darren. Should we like that?
Well, since my
I'll be right back.
since my co-host wants to take a break,
What do you say?
this is episode 2 of Lessons Learned. Like I said, the idea behind this is to just, I don't know, I found myself growing up, especially when I was younger, and more so when I was older, is that people always came to me to try to, like, ask for advice. So, so in that case,
I know it is.
I try to learn as much as I could, either by research or just doing a lot of dumb shit. And I like to humble myself and tell people that I don't know more than you.
Bobby's an amazing coach.
I don't know more than you because I'm more intelligent. I know more than you because I've just done more dumb shit than you.
Terrible player.
Terrible fucking choices. I've acted out of pocket. My co-host is here. She just wants to be off camera. She's had a long day.
I'm only cute till 9 p.m.
So, like I said, this is the concept behind it. I mean, a lot of people get paid for giving out life advice and concepts that maybe they're missing, because I feel like everybody has they're possible to understand life. They just need to see it from a different perspective. They need to step out of their comfort zone and see it, the hard truth, that hard right over the easy wrong. And it's those hard rights that are just like, fuck. You actually got to sit there and tell yourself, be like, yeah, it's your fault, man. You played into it. It was your fault. Now, granted, other people, you know, tried to manipulated you and played you against yourself. But in the end of the day, when you go to sleep, it was on you. You made the conscious choice. I feel like I'm going to start out every episode with, this is Lessons Learned. Remember, you're an adult and you're a free American. You have the right to choose at all times. You even get to choose to do nothing. It's on you. So, tonight, what is our topics? Do we have any topics on hand? Since this is just shooting from the hip.
Bitches.
I don't want.
we're not talking about
I don't want
that.
to talk about the whole life.
You should.
No, the whole life is for later. Later when people start asking.
There were questions from last time. We should have looked at the questions.
Questions from last time?
Yeah.
I think the only questions was, where was I going for this, so people could
Where's that one?
give suggestions for topics or ask for stuff. There's also one, I think one of my buddies, my old gunner, he was saying some dumb stuff like about his boyfriend or his roommate's girlfriend, boyfriend, bullshit.
He might have been drunk.
Yeah, probably.
He might have had a few.
I mean, if y'all want to like ask me questions regarding other people's relationships, I really can't give you too much information on it because I don't know the relationship. If you want to give me personal experiences from your relationship and give me your perspective and what you received, then maybe I can look at it more like objective data. Because that's what Red Pill operating is all about, is just objectively. You got to be able to remove your emotions out of it and pretend basically that a situation that's happening to you, imagining your best friend in the whole wide world telling you that same story where they're you. What would you, who you are, and how you your thought processes, what advice would you give them? Whereas you're sitting there wondering why you're still over this, you still stuck on your ex or this, that, and the other. What would you tell your best friend that was saying that? They're like, I'm stuck on my ex, this, that, and the other, and he treated me like shit, but fuck it. And then you'd be like, nah, man, you need to bounce, like pop smoke. It's time to get out of there. Trifling bitches, marriage, current world topic. I like to stay out of politics, especially when I'm drinking, because I'm a full-blown libertarian. As long as, if whatever you want to do, if that makes you a better person, better productive member of society, by all means, go for it. But me as a free American, I have the right to choose how far I play into your fantasy world. Basically. If you're not living in the real world and you're trying to blue pill operate, all right, whatever, man. But don't ask me to do something that I don't want to do. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it.
They can still ask you.
They can ask me to do it. Hey, can you call me Gender X? And I'm just going to be like...
Well, I thought you didn't want to talk about politics.
I'd be like, well, were you born a male or female?
There's two.
And they're like, you can't associate no, were you XY or XX? Like, this is biology we're speaking. What were you? I'm not going to call you that. Like, I'll call you by your name, or I'll use just like a little nickname for you, but I'm not going to do that. But like I'm saying, it's like, where your feelings end, where your feelings end is where my rights begin. Like, sorry, man, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play into that. Well, like I said, like, people that, especially nowadays in our society, they're like, oh, I'm offended. Oh, I'm offended. You need to change what you're doing because it offends me. Well, being offended, honestly, is a subjective thing.
It's a choice.
It's a choice that you're making to choose that I'm offended. You know how many racial jokes, you know how many, I've been discriminated against by law enforcement, by my superiors, in the military, everywhere. I've been discriminated against, but I didn't feel offended because, all right, if that's how you're going to play this, all right, man, well, I'm going to show you what this little wetback can do, and I'm going to fucking dunk on you and make you look stupid. Like, you can kiss my ass. Oh, all right. We'll start.
I feel a story going on.
There's a story. There's a story. So, I hate to bust him out by name, but you can look in the comments. But we had a sergeant major, and he was a good old boy. He was raised in the South, and like it or not, racism is still very alive.
Please tell me that's his real last name.
That is his last name.
Matthews?
Yes.
Oh.
We call him Fragile Dick. I love Matt Glasscock. But he's flying Blackhawks now. But anyway, so we're in front of formation, and he just had no concept of just the racial boundaries or progression of how, society has been. And so he starts telling the story. And for some reason, somehow, some way, he gets on black people. All right, whatevs. And so he's like, to be honest, I grew up in, I think it was like Alabama or Georgia. He's like, I didn't see my first black person until I joined the Army.
What?
He's like, so I didn't, that's how I grew up. And then he was like, no, as a matter of fact, I take that back. The first one I met actually stole my bicycle. And blah, blah. Now, granted, you have some black dudes in the formation. And at that point, everyone's just like looking at each other. We're like, where's this going? And he's like, yeah, no problems, I was hanging out with you guys and you start calling each other niggers. So I started calling you niggers too. And we're just like, he used a hard ER, not that soft A.
Not
He didn't say nigga.
Not nigga.
He said the hard ER. And everyone's just like, oh my God. And like, we're just like looking at each other, like trying not to laugh. And he just kept going on and on with the story.
Which makes more sense.
Oh yeah, Nebraska. There we go. So we were just like, oh my God, what is going on right now? Oh. And then by the end of it, we were like, if I offended any of you, come by my office, we'll talk about it. And only one person showed up, and it was a buddy of mine. He became one of my team leaders, and he went over there and gave him peace of his mind. But I loved it. Just that type of just mentality. That's what was the best thing about the military. What sucked was the politics and all the bureaucracy, but you had kids from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, different cultures, that just said, hey man, I want to do something else. Now you had your war fighters that were like, yeah, I want a door kick. I want to fucking butt fuck some souls. But you also had people that are like, yeah, maybe I got lost on my way to college. I want to get some free money. So I'm going to do a soft skill. I'm going to be a paper pusher. Whatevs. And, but you got exposed to all these people, and especially in the infantry in combat arms and special operations, it's a different type of breed. That's like the Spartan kids of our culture. And they're like, hey, all y'all better get along or y'all gonna fucking die. Like, y'all better figure it out. You better, like, put all that shit behind you and learn how to integrate. So the way we did it is that we would call on everything, all the racial stereotypes, all the bullshit, all your trauma. We would just hit on you and we would make it public. It'd be embarrassing at first, but we were the type of guys that we'll make fun of you so much. If we find a problem with you, we'll just make fun of you until you change it. But at the end of the day, we're still going to love you. We're going to take you out for a beer. We're going to say, what's up? Like, I'll scuff you up, but let's go get some ice cream afterwards. Like,
take you for some ice cream.
You want some ice cream? You want a Happy Meal? You want to go to McDonald's? But, it was always out of love. It was never out of malice. The only time it was out of malice is when a kid was being a piece of shit and he knew he was being a piece of shit. So everyone just like dunked on him until we got rid of him. Because we don't need that type of mentality in our job field. Because you got to be able to say, hey, I might not like this guy based on what he says or what he believes, but I got to have trust that he's going to cover my back as I cover his back.
I really want to click on that link and I can't.
What is this?
Adam.
Oh.
Are you talking about the sky crane?
Go ahead and click on it.
I can't.
You can't?
Uh-uh.
What song is it, Adam? What are you trying to put?
Give me a hint.
Give me a hint. Sky crane. I don't know. I have no idea. No. Unless you're talking about the aerostat. That was a whole different story.
I really want to click on that. Hold on, I'm frozen.
But other than that, I mean, growing up in that environment as an adult, it really does spoil you. I lived in a bubble. I lived in a bubble with just Spartans. And that's what I was used to for 10 years of my life. So when I get booted back out to the civilian world, all of a sudden I'm surrounded by all the blue pills and all the beta males just salting up the game for the rest of us. Man, it's so frustrating. It's so irritating. Texas is great. It's treating me nice. I'm out here doing good things. Trying to expand my buddy's business. We're doing pretty well. We're about to explode. I'm really excited for what the future brings for us.
When are you coming to San Antonio and getting drunk with me on the Riverwalk? That is actually a fun time.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
The Riverwalk?
The Riverwalk's pretty cool.
Soon, Tim. Soon. Master Biff.
Adam, thank you for giving me the shorter version because I got real confused.
I want to put on Drake Scott playing.
I'm like, what is happening in this comment?
If anybody's got any questions, what I think about certain things that maybe you ever wondered, let me know. I'll try to address it for the group. Thanks for the 12 viewers that are already here.
What?
Hey, it's something. We're in double digits, so we're getting somewhere. just situations you might have been confused on, or basically questions about yourself, like in situations that you've been in and how you handled it, and if you still hadn't learned a lesson, maybe you're making the same mistakes as well. Like I said, like I'm a big believer that people can do shitty behavior. They can do real piece of shit things. But until they show a pattern of behavior of who they are, they should be able to get redeemed at some point. At some point, you know, for them to reach closure or maybe to get over it, you actually engage them one last time before you make the choice that you just don't want that negativity in your life anymore. Like, second chance is cool. Third chance is, I'm not big on it. But I do believe everybody has an opportunity to grow up when they snap out of it and wake the fuck up of what they're doing.
How long do you think that takes? Like, are we talking years? How many
Well, it's really
bad choices?
Honestly, it's shooter dependent, because based on how you grew up, based on the experiences that you went through and all that stuff, it could take a couple months. You can have a mindset already based off that trauma or how you grew up, or you basically have to stumble and see a pattern. You got to see that maybe what you're doing is wrong. You know, maybe what you thought was right is wrong because it's not working out for you. Like, so it could take people years. It could take them decades. Some people half a fucking century. Like, what I noticed is that in my Fresno days is that I switched from night drinking to day drinking.
That's so fun, though.
No, I love day, but my day drinkers, it's a whole different crowd.
Right, true.
It's not a younger crowd, it's an older crowd. And a lot of them are fucking red pill operators. But you see that people make that transition later on in life. Like, they never had that mindset, because they'll tell you all the dumb shit they did. And you're like, yeah, I thought I was top shit, but I was actually just being a dumbass. You know, I was like, oh, as long as you're humble and you're making mistakes.
Let me go back. Okay, whoa, right there, though. That's what I was just going to go back to. You keep saying making a mistake. How many times do you repeat the same mistake before it's a choice?
Well, there's memes where it's like, you know, I don't like to make the same mistake twice. I like to make it 6 or 7 times to make sure it's a bad idea. You know, like, and some people are like,
I'm all about that.
And some people are like, I was like that. Like, I've done
accurate.
that plenty of times. That is very accurate, you know, based on experience.
Enrique, what do you mean after they only date for a week? Did I miss something? He said asking for a friend.
What do you say?
He said after they only date for a week, asking for a friend.
After they only date for a week.
He was responding to something you said, but I don't know what section he was on.
Oh, I said it too fast.
Adam said, Mo, do you think soldiers should be taught mindfulness training and basic training?
Mindfulness training?
Can you expand on that?
Mindfulness training, like as in mindfulness of each other, or just mindfulness as operating in life?
Scroll up. Okay, hold on.
What do you think about guys asking every girl to marry them, especially after a week of dating? That...
I totally don't see that comment.
No, I saw it.
Okay.
After a week of dating? Well, if guys are going to do that, you got to look at who the guy is. If you're dealing with people that never received that type of love or connection or compassion from their parents, most likely the first girl that gives them attention and they connect to,
yes,
they're going to fully invest in up front. They're going to rush into it. They're not even going to see who they are as a person and break them down and try to figure out who they are. They just see, hey, I'm getting better love than I ever received in my entire life, so this has got to be good. And they just ignore all the other outliers and all the variables that can play into it. Now, you got other guys that maybe it's codependency issues. Maybe his mom did everything for him, whether cook, clean, whatever. And when he's by himself as a male adult, he doesn't know how to do anything. So if he sees some girl that does it or maybe offers that to him, oh yeah, he's going to lash the fuck on. But, like I said, it's shooter dependent. It all depends on your background and how you're brought up. But in my experiences along my research, in my life path, those are the patterns that I've found. Now,
can I interject on that too?
Go for it.
in 1 week, in 1 month, in any type of short time frame, there's no way that you're making that decision based on that other person.
Right.
You're making that decision based on what you're gaining from that relationship.
Right.
Pick any topic.
Any
It could
topic.
be for any reason. But you're gaining something out of that relationship that you want to hold on to forever. It has nothing to do with that other person.
Right. And it's maybe it's something that you've seeked and you never experienced from another person. And they finally offer that to you, but they have other things that you got to deal with or compromise or try to work with. Now, I've seen success stories in the military, which is unheard of people dating for a week and they get married and they're happily married 12 years later, still going, have a family and whatnot. And then you hear about the regular standard,
Right.
the statistic that it doesn't last more than 6 months, so.
I think the benefit of military relationship.
I love Tom Miller, Doc Miller, but keep going.
Okay, so the benefit of being able to do that in the military, as a military wife, whatever, is that they leave, right? They come back, so you're still you're not with each other all the time. You have different set of circumstances, so you're still kind of getting the chance to date, even though that paper has already been signed. So I think that can help a little bit.
Yeah, but.
And then back to Adam's question.
But I'm sure the military wife job, that's rough. Honestly, it is.
Could we not? Though.
But we make jokes about it, but it's rough because you might get moved to a base or something, and maybe you've never left your hometown or whatever, but now you're in a new place, strange place, and all of a sudden you find out 3 months in your boy's getting deployed. So are you going to stay there? Are you going to go back home? And if you're going to stay there, do you have a good support system that'll help you out? And then that's hard to find. And then
I have a whole different perspective.
well, yeah, that's just at the basic level.
Okay.
At the very basic level. Back to Adam. What do you say?
Adam said, okay, so his question was about should soldiers be taught mindfulness in basic training? And you were like, what do you mean? He said, how to deal with emotions.
How to deal with emotions.
Should they be taught that in basic training?
Honestly, no, because to be an efficient soldier, it's kind of on you. And during your enlistment,
there's no time for it.
There's no time for it. And mental health, their services are available to you, but the double edge of that sword is that if you go to mental health, there's a problem with you, and they don't want you there, and it's basically admitting weakness where everybody's dealing with it, and so for you to admit it, you're going against the grain.
You have a lot to lose because then they're like, oh, cool, thanks for letting us know.
And now you get...
Why don't you unpack that bag?
Yeah, and you get flagged and you can't do anything. Mm-hmm. And so that just puts you more in a depression or bad state of mind that's already there. Now, when it comes to emotions, honestly, dealing with emotions should be taught in high school. If not high school, middle school. Dude, look at Inside Out. I love Disney movies and Pixar movies. Inside Out is one of the best. I try to be cultured, young man. I try to be cultured. But Inside Out is such a great movie about dealing with emotions because it personifies it and it identifies it. And you see the effects. No, I'm burping right now. I'm sorry.
No, I'm laughing at your Pixar comment.
No, it is a physical representation of what's going on emotionally. One of the best explanations I ever had was from a chaplain friend of mine.
Adam, I want to come back to this too. I'm listening to your story, Javi, but after you tell that, I want to come back to Adam.
Okay.
And also, Letty said she did not expect your voice to sound like that.
Letty? Okay. Well, sorry. I got a deep voice. I got that baritone voice. But the best explanation I ever heard about emotions is that when you get maxed out, you get overstimulated, you start hitting that depression, you start hitting that numb feeling where you have that hole that just can't be filled, and you try to fill it with anything you can, whether it be alcohol, drugs, sex, fucking rock and roll, collecting fucking Pokemon cards. I don't know. I don't know. But, me, I collect memes. That's how I fill that void. So, imagine there's a guy and he's in a small room. And there's a conveyor belt that goes from one room to another. Little holes, whatever. And his job, your job, whatever, his job, is to identify emotions as they come in. And they look like boxes. So you come in, you know, throughout a normal day. Oh, this is happy. This is sad. This is angry. This is irritated. I'm a little annoyed. Like my feet hurt. You know, my butt itches. Whatever. The start of my period. Fucking the world's crashing. So, okay. So say an event happens. A traumatic event. Or something that you're just unfamiliar. Unknown event happens. Now you got these weird irregular boxes that are coming in. Dude doesn't know what it is. He's never seen it before. Or he's never really experienced it often enough to see it by sight. And he's like, sits there and he's like, well, what the fuck is this? Like, what emotion is this? Well, guess what? There's still boxes still rolling in. So he's like, oh, shit. So it can't go to the next room until it gets stamped. So he's like, fuck. So he just throws it off to the side. Well, he starts stamping more boxes. More regular boxes start coming in. And he's like, fuck, you know, getting them off the belt. Well, next thing you know, the whole room's filled up. And he can't move to even do his job. So the whole thing shuts down. When the whole thing shuts down, you know it. Everything turns blank. You get numb. You're apathetic. You don't want to do shit. You probably get into self-destructive behavior to try to make yourself feel something, at least alive, because you want to be dead. You feel dead. You're like, how can anybody live like this? And there's people that reach that point that they'll punch their own time card and they're out. They don't want to play no more. But you have to take time to just sit down and start assessing those boxes. What are those boxes? And you have to start using terms that you're not used to. Disappointment. Betrayal. Straight up betrayal. I got betrayed by somebody that I trusted with my life. I got betrayed.
Ugly.
And then abandonment. I straight up got left behind. I straight up got left behind when I gave somebody my entirety of who I am, and they just threw me to the curb.
Like Kirk Cameron left behind?
Like Kirk Cameron. Like we could do like we could do better. You know what I mean?
Okay, there's like a little delay. So while Hobby's finishing that story, Adam, if you're still on, will you explain what you mean by there's another side to the coin coming out of PTSD stronger? I want to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely an important topic. Huge important topic. Ian said Dr. Hobby. Table 9.
Table 9!
Okay, so keep going. So betrayal, whatever.
Betrayal, man. You start using these terms that you're not used to, and maybe your pride and ego shielded you from it and be like, oh, I'm immune to that type of shit. But it happens because you overlooked something or you were just wrapped up in something you didn't see it for what it was. Okay,
so then kind of expanding on that comment, do you think maybe basic training isn't the right, in your opinion, basic training might not be the right setting for, you know, training soldiers how to deal with their emotions, but should there be kind of like a integration of that after basic training?
Maybe during AIT, but at the same
Obviously,
time...
they're like, they have flyers everywhere that's like...
Well, yeah, but...
We stand with you, whatever.
Because basic training is breaking down the civilian mindset. Maybe your ego, maybe your pride, whatever. But you need to execute. You need to execute these fucking orders because there's a reason behind it. So you have to break the cycle. Now you have to listen to what the fuck I'm saying, like, at all times. Because if you don't, either you're going to get killed, or you're going to get somebody else killed, or you might get me killed. Like, there's a reason why I'm telling you. So you got to integrate it into their head to be like, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you perform as a soldier. One of the best lines was in Band of Brothers, Lieutenant Spears telling Private Blythe, he's like, you know why you hid in that hole and you hid for your life and they don't want to fight? He's like, because you think you're still alive, like your life still means something. He's like, once you jumped in, you're already dead. Like, you're dead.
You know, that's my favorite part.
And he's like, so the quicker you can accept that, the quicker you start performing like a soldier.
And everybody should accept that, not just. I'm not saying.
Well,
I'm
the thing
never
is
comparing
that but the thing is, it's lecture versus practical exercise, because lecture, yeah, you go to fucking Iraq or you go to Afghanistan or whatever.
Megan said, "What up, Bobby?
What up, girl?" But so you have that in the back, the back of your head. You'd be like, right. I'm going to war. I might die. Whatevsies.
Right.
Cool. but it doesn't really become a real concept until it actually, you lose somebody or you get into a near-death experience where you're like, yo, this is for real. This is for realsies.
Right.
Like, I thought we were going to come here and slay bodies and be okay, but this is for realsies.
I might not come home.
And that's what I called accepting your mortality. When you accepted your mortality, fucking, that was it.
08.
08?
Boom.
08.
We're SP.
Oh, all right. So this.
Oh, yo, hey,
mood lighting. So when I accepted my mortality, my whole mindset changed. That's when I started removing a lot of emotion out of my actions, and I was just like, you know what? It's not worth my time. It's not worth my time. Like, I have a real problem with people that argue and get crazy about trivial shit, like small shit. Like, doesn't even matter, bro. Like, in a year from now, is this going to matter? Are you going to remember this event? Like, is it going to be that important that it was so small that I didn't dry off the can opener properly? It's going to fucking rust. Like, really, man? Like, it'll be all right. We'll get a new one.
Can you see Adam's comment? Jim Mattis says there's also post-traumatic growth. I love that. Like, I love that so hard.
Yeah.
He continues, growth after trauma is how we train to become physically fit, mentally capable, working together as a combat-effective team. Breakdown, repair. But, Adam, do you feel like that is actually, that's an amazing theory, 100% and behind that. But do you think that's implemented on any level currently in the military?
I mean,
Or, I think we're headed there, but...
We're headed there slowly. It's not fast enough.
Right.
Because...
It's not fast enough.
It's not fast enough. Because the breakdown repair cycle...
Did you see Molly's comment?
What did Molly say?
Can I just make a personal check out to you for everything you've taught me tonight?
Not yet.
P.O. Box.
P.O. Box 687. But the breakdown repair cycle, why you see such an intimate connection between soldiers, their brothers in arms, is because we did that for each other.
Right.
And we weren't even qualified to. We just did it for each other. And we showed each other that we're there, man. It's going to suck. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you got a gun in your mouth. Yeah, I'll come over and drink with you, man. Just fucking chill out. Like, give me a second.
But on the flip side of that, I don't see who else would be more qualified. Because
that is true. Cause,
nobody else who's experienced.
Well, yeah, because one of the main things that I try to avoid seeking counseling was because there's a lot of civilian counselors. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to sit there and talk to somebody who's just going to regurgitate something from a book.
I know how you feel.
Well, if they said that, I'd be like, nah, son, you don't know shit about what I feel.
Pete has a funny story about that one.
No, I bet. But even if that, it's like, I don't want somebody regurgitating something from a book that I could look up on my own. Like, I already know this. This is why I'm here. Like, I've already tried to research this on my own. I'm self-sufficient enough to try to figure out and solve this problem on my own. But I haven't found the answers I got, or I need. Like, I need a little help, bruh.
I feel like we should schedule a live with Adam and invite him on.
We'll invite him. Yeah, we'll have a guest star.
This is a good topic.
We'll get some fucking Adam on here. That's my Rosie.
Mike Gavinsky. Did I say that right?
Yeah. What's up?
This is why it's a band of brothers. We have to depend on each other.
Exactly. And that's why...
That was Tom Miller.
Yeah. Doc Miller is absolutely correct, because one of the adages that get thrown around that actually got misinterpreted over the years, blood is thicker than water.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know this till the other day when we were talking about it. Explain, please.
Blood is thicker than water. And people would always think that family is more important than your friends because your blood is thicker than water. Whatevs. But the actual the origin of the adage is that the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. You can't pick your family. You really can't. So you're stuck with whatever you're given, whatever the cards are dealt. But the blood of the covenant, the brotherhood, or group of people that you choose to be with and be around with and associate with, that's the blood of the covenant, and you get to choose that. You get to choose the type of people that you're around. So that's always going to be a lot stronger than your family. Because your family might be living their own life, living their own trauma. Maybe they might be blue pill and you're red pill. It doesn't mix. You're like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Like, I have to counsel my parents. You know, like, cool.
And there's 100% code. Like, family calls, you can pick them up.
Yeah, exactly. And tell me, like, with the blood of the covenant, with your brotherhood, any one of your brothers fucking calls you, you're going to come running. If your cousin that's a fucking piece of shit
Right.
calls you, nah, nigga, like, I'm going to sleep. Like, I'm going to go to bed.
Why don't
Like,
you call me in about
if you
10 tomorrow?
survive, like, call me in the morning. Like, good luck. You put yourself in this position. I don't want to help you.
Come here. I think that this is a really good point too, because I think our society has this weird like stigma, and it's probably because nobody understands that phrase. But people don't cut toxic family out of their life.
And
They continue to
that
be
sucks.
around it.
That sucks because they feel like
Stuck.
they're stuck and they can't remove the family out of their life. Well, case in point, I'll say it because I still owe that kid a fucking ass whooping.
Let's talk about it.
My cousin that grew up with me, kind of like a pseudo brother. We're 4 days apart, so a pseudo brother.
Right.
And the best way my grandma told me was that he wanted a companion, and I wanted a competitor. I wanted competition.
Right.
Whatever. Well, his dad worked for like fucking decades at this company. Put him through, helped him with school. They're married. It was like a fucking American dream family on the outside. He put him through school, whatever. He went through all the extracurriculars, all the while working, all this, that, and the other. Well, when they go off to college and whatnot, he loses his job. I guess they didn't want to pay him pension or something, but they just laid his ass off. Well, before he's a 60-year-old dude, adult, he wants to tap into like his old coping habits, so he drinks a little bit, whatevs. Nothing like crazy. Just cheers, like fucking cheers.
Right.
Just wants to have a beer at the end of that. Well, I guess he stopped drinking for his wife or whatever, so she starts losing her shit. Rallies the kids, my cousin, against him, like he's a piece of shit. Like, oh, your dad's nothing, like he's good for nothing, blah blah. And the thing that pissed me off the most is that kid fucking cut us all off, and he sided with his mom. His mom, complete manipulator. She's the fucking puppet master with that kid. And I was like, really? That's who you grew up to become? To just get played like that by your mom, the school teacher who thinks fucking her shit don't stink.
It's moms though.
Fucking, she treats like her kids and everybody and herself like they're fucking up here and everybody fucking down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not humble whatsoever. Straight blue pill operator. Oh, it's the most offensive thing ever. So, I'm a big advocate of cutting out toxic family at any given point.
That's a hard lesson. I'm a fan. It's a hard lesson to learn, and the first time you have to do it, it's so uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, but immediately afterwards, oh man, it's so liberating because now you don't have to deal with it.
Kathy Murphy Nunez said, "We cut family out. Had to be done, so we did it." Do you believe there's a possibility that there's a connection between your gut health and your PTSD symptoms? Serotonin is created in your gut. There's studies that have shown that an unbalanced diet, as well as a constant increase and decrease of adrenaline, can affect your gut health.
Yeah, because
Is it possible that by healing your gut, you may in turn help to heal your mind? That's deep.
Well, you're combating. I feel like you're combating a lot of things at that point. So maybe that might be a concept. Heal your gut, you heal your mind. But if you're in a state of depression where you don't want to eat, or you hardly eat, like even force feeding yourself during depression sucks. So it's like, all right, well, I heal my gut, cool. And then you're talking about adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine. That's your anxiety from PTSD. That's when you start the anxiety attack. You're feeling the flight or fight response. Like your life is in danger. Your heart starts pumping, your breathing gets deeper, your bronchioles open up, all the blood to your major muscle groups, and you feel like you got to do something, but you're just sitting down, relaxing. You're not even doing anything.
Right.
Now you're combating that adrenaline and whatnot, and then no, I don't want to eat because that got shut off. I need to do something. Like, I need to, get the fuck out. But, so I feel like combating those symptoms, it's hard. But, I mean, if that was the concept, then cool. How do you integrate that? Do you make a pill that makes you hungry, or?
Cool. And then she said, that's not even digging into the effects of y'all constantly popping NSAIDs while you're in for everything and anything, and its effects on your gut health combined with excessive alcohol drinking. It's a bad combination all around. Which
comes with the lifestyle.
what? Whoa.
Like, we became major league drinkers. We couldn't do any drugs, so we had to just drink.
Piss hot.
Yeah, I know. You don't want to piss hot.
But that's also kind of just the society that we're in. Like, oh, something hurts? Here, take this pill.
Yeah, take the pill.
Here, you feel sad? Take this. You won't feel anything. Like, that's...
Well, that's... If you want to get really red pill, that's...
Which I'm not saying I agree with.
If you want to get really red pill, it's fucking big pharma.
Yeah, 100%.
They're making money off of it. Like, I guarantee fucking in some locked vault, there's a cure for everything. But they want to treat it symptomatically.
That is 100% accurate.
Because they just want to treat it symptomatically because they make more money off of it.
Yeah. Adam says, Mo, where do you see yourself in 2 years? That's a great question.
In 2 years, I see myself as a project manager of veterans. So maybe
I'll got bigger plans than that, Mo.
I'll be out of debt, and then I'll be working towards. Hopefully, I get my license back by then, and then I'll be.
You sound so blue pill right now. Let's think bigger than that. Adam said red pill engaged.
I'll just be better from where I'm at. I'm gonna be actually, if you want just a vague answer, I'm gonna be better than I've ever been in my entire life. My entire life, like it'll surpass my military career.
That's huge. Did you ever think you would say that?
No. But I feel like my military career was a building block. It should never be like like the high school varsity.
Right.
The football player that doesn't amount to anything is like, what, high school? No, nigga, like, this is you now. Like, it's been 30 years since that event. Like, this is you now.
Right.
The best thing I ever heard was one of my old platoon sergeants, Chris Landry. He said, it doesn't matter what you've done in your career. What have you done in the last 15 minutes? Like, what have you done in the last 15 minutes? Memory. Because everybody has a short memory. Mm-hmm. What have you done now? So
I'm going to smash her.
Yeah, I know. Go for it. But is there anything else we need to address real quick? Because we need to wrap this up.
I don't know. I don't think there's any other questions. Last questions. There's like a 45-second delay, so. Okay. If anybody has any more questions, if not, we can address them. If you pop them in the comments, we can address them on the next live. Yeah.
For all the for all the other viewers that are gonna watch this that are not watching this live, they'll watch the recorded. If you got any questions, pop them in the comment section. When do we got free time next? Sunday?
I don't have
Saturday?
I don't have the master plan calendar in front of me.
Where's the Google?
We need to schedule like an actual
every Sunday night. Yeah, like a Sunday night.
James Altman said, "What's up, bro?
What's up, Brittany? Hey, what's up, girlfriends?" So we can schedule, I guess, weekly, but I've also have requests for bi-weekly. But yeah, we could do weekly and just set an event.
Always requests for bi. Always.
The buy request.
Webpage. When is the webpage going to be up?
The webpage? I'll probably make a Facebook page, and it'll be a public page, and then I'll just put all the content there and just link it to my personal page and whatnot. And
I fully read that as webpage, Adam.
So we can see how it spreads and see what kind of fanfare we gain from it. Because I'm all about participation from the viewers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
100%.
Ask me. Let me tell you all the shit that I fucked up on and what I learned from it. That's lessons learned.
And if you have topic ideas that you want to hear Doc Mo spit on, then go ahead and...
Yeah, anybody just offer up topics and we'll hit on them, in our little episodes. And it'll
exotic.
Yeah, so... Alright, we're signing off. I gotta get up at 8 o'clock tomorrow, and it's like midnight.
Oh, what happened to you?
Dude, I'm getting old. I'm getting fucking old. So, everybody have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night. My co-host says good night as well. All right.